welcome to my channel. It's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147, and I'm quite excited for this video. So this video is one that I have been thinking about doing for a while, not quite got round to, but I did manage to pick up this from the range the other day. So I've had a look on Amazon, and there are many options on Amazon, but sometimes it can be very confusing as to which one to get. But I did manage to get this, or get this picked up for me from the range, which I thought was a little bit more accessible, or very accessible for those in the UK, but there will be something similar in every other country as well. And this is an A3 presentation display book. So it comes with pocket pages. So this one comes with 20 pockets, which will give you 40 sides, and they are 50 micron. So this was £3.99. I also picked up, and turn it the right way around, a pack of A3 black card. This was also £3.99, and I picked up some double-sided tape. I actually picked up a couple of rolls, but this was only £1, and that's because the double-sided tape I've got is rather low, so I knew I would need some more. And my plan for this is to finally have a display home for some of the paintings that I finished. Now, A2 in regards, is it A2? A3, sorry. A3 in regards to UK sizes is about, I don't think it tells me the actual size on here. No, it doesn't. I know it is just short of 30 centimetres, I think. So it works out at, yes, 29.5 centimetres by 42 centimetres. So it's a little bit short for a 30 diamond painting, but it's plenty for a 40. So it's very close to a 30 by 40. And you can get them in A2, so you can get them even bigger, but of course then you've got to store the even bigger presentation book. So what I was thinking of doing was making this, excuse the noise, making this the home for diamond paintings that I've completed but that aren't going in a frame. So I thought I will pop a couple in here with you. I need to change the battery on my camera, as per always. It doesn't warn me, it just starts flashing. So I'll get that changed, and we'll get some paintings ready to go in this and see what it looks like. Okay, so I've grabbed a few paintings that, now in regards to these paintings, they are actually 30 by 40, but they are from the likes of CES Deals or Fansales. Now, the way those companies work is the 30 by 40 is actually the full canvas size, so the picture itself is smaller. That makes these perfect for displaying on here. You don't have to decide whether to trim any down or not. So I've got a few. This is one I did sort of a sealer test on, but it still looks fine. I've got a partial of my daughter's. I've got a Slytherin that my daughter did, and I've also got the very pretty birds one. Now I think I may use this for my front cover, just because at the moment it's one of my favourites. So the plan I'm thinking is I'm going to cut all the way around the edge. So I'm going to cut all the excess canvas off, so I just have the diamond painting. And I think this will be a much nicer way to store them. Now you could of course trim them down to the right size and just slip them in the display pockets, but I feel that with them being on a canvas, that they are more likely to pucker up. I did find that some of them that I've been storing in an art folder, if I had the big art folder upright, then they sort of shrunk down on themselves and of course ruffled up a bit. Now they do flat out again over time, but it's not the best way to store them. So I do have an art folder, a big A. Okay, I knew that had happened. I changed the battery and then I knew my memory card was getting full, but I figured it would let me do a little bit more before it shouted at me. But no. So yeah, I do have an A2 art folder that slips under my couch, and that tends to hold quite a few big ones. Mainly like my Christmas print that I do put out at Christmas and switch out. But I wanted somewhere to house these smaller paintings because I have quite a few and I do these for enjoyment, but it's nice to display them in a little bit of a better way. So the idea is that I will cut all the way around the side and then I will find a nice place on the black, and this is the reason I did get black. You can get white card, there was cream card, you know, there was a few different colours, but I figured black would give the better pop. So what I also want to do is stick it to the card because it could still slip down and buckle. So I'm just going to use, quite simply, some double-sided tape. So let me just get my smaller scissors off my pegboard. And I'm just going to do 3 strips of double-sided tape on the picture. And then we'll just put a bit in the middle to help the middle, because why not? So what I tend to do now is I tend to find where I feel looks like the centre. Now this does look as though it has a weird line at the top. They are actually diamonds. They do look a little bit weird though, so I don't know whether, when I look at them through in the camera, it looks as though it's just caught something a little bit wrong. Looks okay at the bottom, but I'm not too keen on the top. So what I'm actually going to do for the purposes of this one, because this is going to be displayed in the front, I'm going to chop that row of diamonds off. So if you have a painting that is a true 30 by 40 and it's not something that you're ever going to frame, maybe you have just done it purely for enjoyment, try not to cut the diamonds. There we go, that's better. That looks better now. You can always cut a little sliver off to make it fit. So first things first is I'm just going to keep it in its place, apart from the fact it wasn't quite straight, and then I'm going to stick that part down, and then that's stuck now for me to pull off the next piece of tape. And this is where it's fun when you can't get the backing off the double-sided tape. There we go, and flatten it down, and then again for the top piece. Now you can always put more on if you want, but I figured the pocket of the folder is going to keep this protected to a certain extent anyway. So let's see what this one looks like in the front pocket, because I do like the idea of it having a pretty picture on the front. And I also find that with double-sided tape, while it may affect the card that you tape your diamond painting onto, it will still allow you to peel it off the back of the canvas. Sorry about that, in the house drama. So yeah, that is the front one done. I can't remember what I was saying or where I was up to anyway. So let's have a look at getting some of the others done. Now you could use this card and stick one on either side, but I have taken the decision to only put one on a piece of card, Then if I want to maybe move things about, or I decide that I want to take one out and frame it, I still can do. So I'm actually going to use a piece of card per diamond painting. So we'll stick one more down, and then I'll get the other ones that I've pulled out already in the folder, and then I'll show you what it looks like. I've probably got some more that can go in, but they are in the art folder that is in the front room, and I've just used the ones that have been about in my craft room. Haven't quite made it into that art folder. I do currently have two. One is better quality than the other. I did get a cheap one initially, and it's not, it does the job. If it's lay flat, it will do the job better, but it doesn't do the job wonderful when it's stood upright. But it is just where I pop diamond paintings that I've finished. So on this one, I'm trying to make sure that that black line is removed as much as possible. But having said that, it is going onto black card, so it won't be a big deal. So there we go. That's oh, that one looks nice on the black. Okay, so double-sided tape. So I'm just using up the roll of double-sided tape that I had already before, of course, I open the new packet, but I knew it was getting low. This one I just picked up again. It was only £1, but I think this one's from Hobbycraft. But I tend to pretty much always have some form of double-sided tape hanging about. So see if we can get that one straight and positioned. Straight as we can. I think we've got a couple of diamonds that are popping over the edge. And then if I can get the tape to come off. That's one. And then I can pull back and do the other two. Come on. There we go. And then flatten that one down. So let's have a look how this card fits into an actual pocket. So for £3.99, this is not a bad price at all. Oh, it's quite snug, which in a way is good. There's still a little bit of lip round there, of course, but that fits in quite snug. It's quite a nice fit. Of course, you've got more space. There's a little bit more space on the front one, but it works very well. Sorry, hubby was bringing the ladders back in. So yeah, that fits quite snug. Oh, I'm happy with that. Okay, so I'm going to get some, I've only got two more that need to go in here, so I'm going to get those in. Now, these are a different orientation, the next ones, so I'm not sure whether I'm going to actually start that orientation nearer the back, so that when you're looking at it, you're looking at all the ones that are vertical, and then you turn it round and look at all the ones that are the other way, or I might just do the next two like that. But I don't want them to be flipping the book around a lot. So I'll have a think while I'm getting these two prepped. I'll also go and see if I've got any others that can go in here. And then I'll show you what it looks like when it's all finished. So that took longer than I thought. Wasn't too long in general. However, I did find more paintings in the front room. So that's the first one we did. I've stuck down all. What I did find was that if it was 30 centimetres across, the likes of this one, I did need to take 2 rows of diamonds off. Now, the reason I don't particularly have a problem with that is at the minute I don't have the intention of framing any of the likes of these. However, if I did want to frame them and I was putting them in a 30 by 30 frame, you do tend to have a little lip for the picture to sit in, and that tends to allow you that row of diamonds. So it's not going to stop me from doing any. So I've done all the ones that are vertical. So this one also needed 2 rows of diamonds taken off, so I just picked which side was best. And because this was a square, I could have put it either way up, but I decided just a little bit of the tree at the side wouldn't cause a problem. This one I could potentially have fit another one on the same piece of card, but I didn't happen to have one in this set that was the same, and I do like this image, so I just decided to keep that one full. I've even got the first painting I ever did, which was a partial monkey, to see if I liked it. Years later, here we are. I have popped the extra pieces of card from the pack that I had in a couple of these, just because it's the safest place to keep it. And then I do have quite a few spare pockets, though I can imagine this getting quite thick by the time I'm done, but we'll see how that goes. And then I have the other way around. So this way I think I did it as. So I did it so that you could view them all the same way, and on some of them I did get 2 on 1. I did wonder whether to do them separately or not. Square versus round, I decided that was definitely best together, but then I did decide to do it on these smaller ones as well, just so that I get more paintings in one binder. Then I've got some partials that I've done. Oh, I'm hitting my pegboard at the back. I've got a glitter diamond. I've got what I did for the Advent at Christmas, a butterfly, the umbrella one that we showed at the beginning, the dragon, and then this is a true 30 by 40. So this was a full size 30 by 40. We've only got a little lip at the sides, and I did have to cut off 2 rows, but most images will allow you to cut off a couple of rows of diamonds without causing a problem. This one is one that actually gave me a lot of headaches. It was when Hurricane had the popping drills, but I think I've managed to keep them all in there, to pop that one in here. So yes, very impressed. So including the double-sided tape, of which I bought 2 rolls, and I still have a full roll left and part of another roll. All in all, this cost me £10. So £3.99 for the binder, £3.99 for the black card. I will need another one before this is finished, but that's because I chose to use a sheet of black card per painting rather than doing it double-sided, which you could do. You could also put maybe some nice washi tape around some of these borders to make the paintings pop a little bit more. But I'm really happy with the way of displaying these. I think this is a lot nicer and a lot easier. And if I do get to the point of having 2, then I will potentially have each orientation in each binder and do it that way. You could also potentially, especially if maybe you did a washi tape border or put this on a piece of white card before putting it on black, you know, maybe made a bit more of the presentation than what I have. You could also get yourself an A3 frame and potentially use it to change out some paintings. So you have one place in your house where the A3 frame sits, and you change your paintings every now and then just to vary it up. That could also work, maybe not so much with the doubles, but you get the idea. But yeah, overall very impressed. All my paintings, or at least all my smaller paintings, are all in one place, looking very big, but very nice. If I do find that the thickness becomes a problem when it gets further on, then I could potentially chop out some of these, or maybe even pull them out. They look to be heat sealed, but I think if you chopped it out close enough, you could potentially just thin down the binder to take into account that it has diamonds in it. This top one is struggling a little bit more in the pocket, but I think that's just because of the weight of all the others, but it still fits fine. It's just very thick of diamonds. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you all again soon.